Tyler, can you talk about the environment tonight and kind of how things went for you guys in the first half, starting up things off?
Always a great environment. Loud, fun to play in, and we just struggled, and you got to credit them. They played good defense, but shots didn't fall, and they had the advantage all night.
You guys anticipated seeing some of that trapping the ball screen there. What was the game plan to deal with those ball screen traps early, and what do you think went wrong with them?
Just being strong and being physical. We know they're a physical team. We just made too many turnovers off those traps and too many mistakes. And, we kind of put our heads down, especially me. We got to fight that.
What was the kind of what stood out to you at the end of the first half when they went on that 16-2 run right before halftime? I guess starting with Harald.
First of all, they made shots, so credit them. And we didn't do a great job rebounding. We felt that's kind of what killed us at the end of the first half, as well as turnovers. So we got to take care of the ball better, and we got to make sure we get the rebounds.
How disappointing is it, to come out that way, especially after the way they kind of ended the game in Bozeman? Just kind of how disappointing is it?
It's very disappointing. It's just not how we wanted to come out. Of course, I mean, this game means a lot to a lot of people, and yeah, we did not. Yeah, it's very disappointing.
And Tyler, I guess just kind of, you mentioned that you kind of got down. I guess just what was kind of the toughest part about that trying to stay in the game?
Just adversity. Obviously I'm one of the leaders on the team, and I didn't try to help anybody. I didn't try to get guys together and push through it. And I got to do that more. And it's kind of been like that all season. So I mean that was the toughest part. Just staying together, and there's going to be adversity in the game. Kind of backed up when adversity hit. And
how I guess where would you say the breakdown was defensively to give up that many points?
They made a lot of shots. We're not talking enough. We're not rotating fast enough. I think we got to pride ourselves even more on the defensive end. We got to stop the bleeding. I mean, we knew that we were going to go on runs, but we got to make sure we stop the bleeding before it gets out of control, and we didn't do that tonight.
Go ahead, guys.
I guess kind of back and forth, a little bit of a messy first half, but then they ended on that 16-2 run. How much momentum do you think that gave them in the locker room?
Well, I think that was factor culture. I think they played, they kind of turned it up there a little bit, but, without watching the film, I can't fault our guys for the shots we were getting. I like the looks we got. I like the effort we were playing with. Credit them for their defense and things like that. But, we were fighting our tails off, and we just, for whatever reason, we couldn't stick the ball in the hole tonight.
Coach said not being able to make shots has been a problem for a portion of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And there doesn't seem like there's like an answer for that. What do you do as a coach when it's just like, hey, ball's not going in?
Yeah, you just, you go back to ball movement and try to get the ball, touch as many people's hands as you can, try to get sets of eyes off of you a little bit and keep going. But, I mean, this is even abnormally a little lower than what we've been shooting. I mean, we've been up the last 3 or 4 games around 48, 49%, and tonight it was just one of those situations where it didn't go.
Schematically looked like they were throwing some traps at Tyler. Is that what you saw?
Oh, they're a really good hedging ball screen. I mean, they were going to try to disrupt Tyler and things like that, and Harry, but like I said, I haven't seen the film yet, but man, I like the shots we got. I mean, we're sitting there and getting the good looks, and they just didn't go. We battled on the boards, 15 offensive rebounds. Connor went and got 13 boards. That's a lot of rebounds.
Where would you say the breakdown was defensively?
Well, I think just what happens is, you start to miss shots and it just wears you down. But give them credit; they executed well and got some things on us. But we've got to have some juice and making shots. You get in these games where rivalry games, and when you're not, you kind of struggle a little bit and can get going sideways because of that.
seemed like you guys were doing some stuff to limit Oguine, Rorie, and Ahmaad early. Do you think that led to some of the open shots that Timmy Falls got in the first half?
Yeah, it did, but we one of them was a bad rotation. We made a mistake, and he made it, and but that happens in a game, so credit them for knocking it down. But you know, we were going to try to limit some of those guys and see if we could. And you know, I mean, Michael and Ahmaad didn't make a three, and we kind of kept them off balance. But their depth and their ability to score, I thought Saeed and Carl played really well for him today and give him a big boost.
Obviously, Montana State, you guys had a great atmosphere the first time around. How did you feel that affected your team, if at all, coming in here today?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it had too much effect. It might have on some of the shots early on, but you know, it's Travis and I were talking before the game. It's just when we play each other, the atmosphere that's created is fantastic. It was great here tonight. It was great at our place. We just those are the type of atmospheres you want to be, and this is as good a rival game as there is in the league. And I've been fortunate enough to be a lot of places, and it means a lot to a lot of people. And I know we let people down by us not getting the win, but we got to get better.
Tyler and Harold mentioned that the team kind of just dropped their heads and didn't fight back. I guess how disappointing is that?
Oh, I think they're taking it too hard there a little bit. I mean, it's 5 minutes after the game, and they're embarrassed that we lost and stuff like that. But in no time did I think our effort wasn't good. I thought our effort was really good. I mean, I'm just going spinning things through my head right now. We're getting a lot of guys good looks, and they don't go, and it wears on you because you want to play so well in this game. It's human nature. When things don't go well, when you invest a lot, sometimes wears on you. And those guys, I mean, they kept fighting. Our effort was good. We just got to get some shots to go down.
At the end of the day, rivalry game, okay, but really all that matters is the tournament in Reno and getting there and trying to hit your stride. Is there
kind of tie into that? Getting better each game is also tied into that. But I mean, it does. But we've made some improvements tonight. Obviously, we didn't make shots, but the effort and the ball movement and stuff was good. We just got to keep going. You're right. It's a reset when you're in our position in a week when you go to the tournament. But it's still a one game at a time, and hopefully we can get better and find a way to get some wins.
It seemed like there was kind of a loss of control just amongst the entire what was playing out on the court. How do you manage that?
What do you mean, Colter?
I mean, when there was the technical fouls going on, and there's a bunch of hard fouls on both sides, and the emotions are high. How do you keep your guys poised?
Well, I thought our guys did really good. I mean, I didn't really see what had happened there, but we were able to get some free throws there and knock them down and score some points. But unfortunately, the game wasn't close enough to where it could have an impact. But I thought our guys stayed in it and kept scoring and looking and making free throws. So I was happy with how our guys handled it. I have no idea what was going on, to be honest with you. I don't even know. I didn't know why they called it technical, or if they called two. I have no idea why.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Model join here in a second. Nick's gonna grab him.
You guys closed the first half on a 16-2 run. Timmy Falls was a big part of that. Why was he so effective with that group of guys?
He made open shots. Timmy's got a big heart, no fear, and I think he put himself in all the right spots. He was open on some turns, but he also attacked the rim. He got the steal for the and one, slashed to the paint a little bit here and there, and made some finishes. But I just thought that he was aggressive, and when the opportunity presented itself, he took advantage of it.
Were you surprised to see that out of Timmy specifically?
No, he was a prize recruit. We can't be surprised by that. He's a freshman, so he's playing behind really good players. He's playing behind two all-conference guards that are playing 30 minutes a game. So your opportunities come and go, and for freshmen, it's just hard to be consistent. Even Mike, as a freshman, had moments where he wasn't at his best, and he had moments where he had big games. And so for freshmen, it's just hard to be consistent. But we knew he's capable of these types of games, and that's why we put him in there, leave him in there when we're struggling a little bit offensively. We know that guys like him and Saeed have the ability to put the ball in the basket, and Carl can finish around the rim, and those guys gave us some big minutes in the first half.
The first 15 minutes pretty sloppy, but you guys were able to just pull away. In your mind, where did it turn for you guys? Where did it turn for you guys? Where were you guys able to kind of get some separation?
Yeah, just the defensive end. We were just holding like their top guys just in check, I think, and we were rebounding the ball, but it's just like the ball just wasn't just going in the hoop for us. But I think we just kept getting the ball in the spots we wanted to. So I think that's when it started to turn.
Coach, in the first half, the game's still somewhat close. You called a timeout specifically to voice your displeasure about some of the riffing calls, and there's a history, especially with the code down low and all of that. Was that something that you were potentially preparing to do coming into the game, or is that something that you feel out in the moment?
Well, I knew I was going to have a conversation about him, and whether it was going to be the flopping or something. I mean, he has a tendency to grab guys. He was holding us, he's holding jerseys on the way to ball screens. He has a knack for wrapping his arm around other guys and then making it seem as if he's on the receptive end in the official pit. And I had just finished having a conversation with the other official about it, and he said, I know. I said, well, if you know him, then I need you to communicate that with the others. And I just think, the third official was his first time officiating that player. And so he got caught on that a little bit. And it was unfortunate because Jamar didn't get going. But when he doesn't play well or play big minutes, doesn't get big numbers, and we still able to put the points on the board that we put on and able to out-rebound an opponent, it's a sign of what we have in our depth, and we feel good about it.
Coach, there's a lot of emotions going on in this game, especially on that, I believe, the technical on the bench, middle of the game. Whether or not the refs were making good calls, is there something to take away from the ways players reacted?
Yeah, they need to learn from that. I mean, that's an adverse situation, and things don't always go your way, and you got to find a way to work around it. Timmy Falls, his strength is his weakness, and he's emotionally caught up in the game. He loves basketball, and he's fairly boisterous about that. And so you got to be careful with that. It's okay to be emotional and get caught up into the game, but at the same time, you got to watch your P's and Q's with officials. You can't get texts, because if that's a three-point game, that could have cost us the game. And so it's an opportunity for him to learn, and I think he has.
Mike, what did you think of this overall defensive execution? What was your game plan coming in? How did you think you guys executed it?
I think we did a great job of executing on defense. We were locked in on their two main scorers, and as you can see, we made it difficult for them. Harald Frey shot well from the field, but we did a good job of keeping him from getting their offense going. I think we 1 assist to 3 turnovers, and that's big, because if he's not getting them in their offense, they struggle. So it was really important for us to take that away, and I'm proud of the guys for doing that.
For Ahmaad and Mike, a lot of the guys who don't get a lot of minutes, they played got a lot of minutes today and scored a lot of points, did some good things. How are these guys feeling in the locker room right now after a win like this?
They're just feeling real good, like collectively we're feeling good as a group, just able to beat our rivals and then have everybody play like a significant role, I think was real big time. So everybody was just all happy, like just moving forward. We need like everybody on the team to step up, so it was real big to see that.
Sure, because they work just as hard as us. They can practice always good. When they're able to get minutes, it just makes the whole thing better. So we all get hyped when that happens.
Travis, what was the key, just defensively, just shutting down Tyler Hall and Harald Frey?
Well, one of it is we've got pretty good feel for all their specials and when they will run them, and so it was more about keeping him out of flow and forcing him to score playing one-on-one. The plan was against Bobby's length. Bob picked up the second foul, and then Ahmaad took on that role, and he's got really good feel for the offense as well. So, we just made it hard for him to, catch and shoot or get shots off of the screens, and we made him work. And when he put it on the floor, we drove him into help. And when guys got to shoot in traffic or take the types of shots that aren't necessarily the highest percentage shots for them, they're going to struggle, and we did a good job of that tonight.
How relieved are you to see a shooter like him, his first 2 shots are not falling? Can you see that he's not getting into a rhythm?
Yeah, I thought that our guys did a good job of keeping him out of that rhythm, though. When you watch him on film, he steps into a lot of shots in transition a lot. Tail end of plays, coming off of screens, he's catching and shooting. You have to eliminate that, and I think our guys worked hard to take that away and just make it hard on him for 2 straight games.
Mike, there's a lot of things that came together from an energy standpoint, coming off of losses, having a week off, having a rivalry. When you step into the gym, come out, and you see 7,000 plus in the stadium, some of the folks that are sitting courtside and stuff, does that take it to even another level for you?
For sure. We feed off their energy, and it was great to see, especially the students come out and support us like that. It means a lot. Those are our peers. Like, we see them in class all the time, and for them to take time out of their busy schedules to come support us, that means everything. And the community as a whole, everyone seemed to be out out supporting us tonight. It's just huge, you know. That's what we really play for the fans and for everyone in the community, and their support means the world to us. So I'm really happy with the turnout tonight.
Coach, obviously you were at halftime, but at that halftime, the whole football coaching staff came out, and Bobby Houck had a couple of rallying words to have. Is that something that you feel like both teams can feed off of? You know, you for them during football season, them for you here now.
I think that's huge. Basketball needs to support football. Football needs to do the same thing in return. And when we do that, it creates a camaraderie. And as an athletic department, we all need to support each other. We all have high expectations. We're all trying to compete for championships. And when the student body supports each other, when the community gets behind all the sports, you tend to have more success. So, you know, Coach Houck has been huge. You know, he's popping in the office. He's had a ton of energy when we see him. And I think he's been very supportive of making sure his players come to our games, as we try to do in return. So it's a great positive, and I think he's done a phenomenal job of adding to the energy.
Going off of that, is there something to be said about crowd going wild over a meaningless missed free throw or going crazy after a kind of meaningless foul?
That's what the zoo is about, and it's been a long time since we've had the zoo. We've had moments, you know, maybe 1 or 2 games a year, and hopefully we can get that reestablished and have that every game. But that's what I'm used to, and that's what college athletics is about. It's for the students at the end of the day. That's who's supposed to enjoy it the most. And when we have an opportunity to watch them enjoy small moments like that, and our guys performing the way they did tonight, you feel good about it, and you hope that it continues.
Michael, just coming off, the last game that you played against them, just how much did you know that a dominant performance like this was capable?
Well, we knew that it was capable, first of all, because we held them to a very low percentage, just like we did today, especially in the second half. I think they made like 4 field goals second half of the last game. So we knew that if our offense was clicking, which it wasn't in that first meeting, it was potential for a blowout. Like you saw today, we were really focused on the defensive end. Some of our shots weren't falling, Ahmaad and myself, but everyone else stepped up and were making shots, and the ball was moving really well. So that's just a good recipe for a win like that. So we're proud of that.
Mike, you're obviously a guy that's a high flyer on this team. We know Carl can jump a little bit. He throws down, that backdoor lob, and then Bobby gets going. What was that like, watching Bob take off like that?
The thing is, I told him before this game, like, I promise you, I said, today's the day. He's like, what? I was like, today's the day you're going to get your first dunk. And it happened. So I wasn't even surprised. I was happy for him, but I wasn't surprised. Like, I called it. It was fake.
Ahmaad, Idaho won at Weber tonight, so you guys now have a 2-game league. You can solve the league title on Thursday. So just what are your thoughts on Thursday's matchup?
Just definitely happy, like, first of all, that we could get the title. But they're a tough opponent. They came in here, beat us on a game winner last year, so we're definitely going to play with a chip on our shoulder because of that. But they're good teams. We're going to prepare throughout the week, get some rest. But it's going to be a fun game, so try to win that so that we could get a title.
Travis, you got a pretty high right now off of this game and just the atmosphere and everything. What do you do to maintain that going into this final week of the regular season?
Well, that's why throughout the season we've treated every game the same. Tonight we prepared for this game the same way we prepare for every game. Routine doesn't change, and you feel like every game you play is for a championship. If you want to win one, you have to win that first game at NAU. You have to win that second game at Southern Utah. So we approach those games the same way we approach tonight, and we'll do the same thing Thursday. And so I'll let these guys enjoy the win and feel good about it and be happy, and we'll be positive Monday, but we'll grind and we'll get better.
So Tyler did 21 points in 2 games after 37 and just won last year. How much do you think the new defensive system has to do with that versus just effort or something else?
Well, we know where our help is coming from. In the past, we never did. It was more of a reactive defense, where now we create the defensive schemes. We create the rotations, and we know where guys are going to be. So part of it is that, and then, like I said, we've got a pretty good feel for what they're doing. He went nuts last year. He's shooting contested shots at 25 feet that go in off the backboard. So I don't know that he necessarily was trying to bank those shots in. So, sometimes guys just go off. Last week Blake went off, and Victor Sanders, it's 6 or 7. I mean, those guys made tough shots, and it just happens. That's why you play the game. So, everybody has their moment, but if we stick to the script and we continue to play defense the way we play defense, we'll be fine. I think right now I have a more defensive-minded group. We're more athletic, we're longer, we're quicker, and we're more aggressive, and we can recover more than we could in the past. And so those shots that are uncontested a year ago are no longer uncontested now. So some of it's personnel and some of it is our scheme.